who super chatted in twice during the show that's Spanish speaking. And what I've been told by him and by others is that in the video that you see, first of all, there's no proof that Garnacho, I've seen no video evidence that Garnacho is there. So straight away, I'm not going to condemn someone that I don't know whether they're there or not. It does look like Lisandro Martinez is on the bus, but what a lot of Spanish speaking people have confirmed is the song that you see, it was either being sung by him or while I was filming it, Lisandro Martinez, that was not the offensive song. It was a separate song. And then the offensive song starts and all you can see is Enzo. It's where the camera, it's around 34 seconds into the video. So for me, I've said it all along, show me footage of Man United players singing that song and I will condemn them 100%. But there is no footage of them singing that song. Now, they may have been on the bus. They may have been joining in. But I ain't seen them do it. And I don't know about the rest of the panel. But I can't sit here and start saying X, Y, and Z have done X, Y, and Z and A, B, C, and D, and E, F, G if I haven't seen evidence of it, my friend. So, you look, and I have seen some people claim that the whole song they were all singing was part of the offensive thing, which is why I've said it hasn't been officially confirmed. Because you've got some Spanish people saying, no, they were all singing it. You've had some say, no, the song didn't start until 34 seconds and you don't see the others singing it. So the point I'm making is there's no confirmation that they were singing that song. I don't know if anyone else agrees or disagrees on the panel, but I think that's about as fair as I can be at this particular juncture.
It's a weird one because like it's not like a case of out of sight, out of mind, but you know, this is not me saying that Enzo has got track history. I just feel like historically over the last 12 to 18 months, I feel like he's obviously come out and said what he said because he's apologized, not because he's sorry, he's apologized for being caught for doing it, in my opinion. And then over the last sort of like 12 to 18 months, there's been also loads of videos of him like just, I don't know whether they're just trying to cook him or not, but I just feel like he's been caught in the crossfire of what he's like, it's almost like it's confirmation. But I don't know if I agree with the confirmation. Does that make sense?
You can't paint everybody.
Sorry, Andre here was he's watching now. So this was the viewer that confirmed that the footage where appears that Lisandro Martinez is singing, it wasn't the song that's alleged that everybody else was singing that is offensive. So as I've said, I reiterate again, I can't say screw you, Lisandro, if I haven't seen him singing it. We can clearly hear multiple voices singing it when it goes to Enzo's face only. But none of us speak Spanish that are on this panel. How do any of us know who's singing it? Like, come on, like we're just never gonna know.
And you can't paint everybody with the same brush. Like maybe some of those people in the bus weren't singing it, and like, why should we start abusing them for doing something that they never did? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's not the whole if one person did it, everyone's done it. No, the only person that we saw that did it or was singing it was Enzo. And Enzo was going to get flack for it.
What do you guys make? What do you guys make of what happened last night? Have you seen what happened yesterday?
No.
So just for context, so Enzo went back to River Plate, where I believe he was a boyhood fan. Maybe I think he played for them as his first club.
He come out their academy, I think.
Yeah, there we go. And he got a hero's welcome, and predominantly because obviously local lads, done so well in his career. He's won Copa America's, World Cups, but then it wasn't all. But a good section of the crowd, when he was introduced, then started to sing the offensive song. And again, that's not him singing it. So he is not accountable for the individuals in that crowd that have sung it. But I was wondering what message this sends into the Chelsea dressing room when he's come out and apologized and said that it's wrong and disgusting, not a reflection of me. You're then basically at your welcome back party, and in support of you, that song is being sung. And thus far, he's said nothing about it.
That's what fans do, though.
But they do. But I would look at it this way. If I put on an event and I walk out and the audience is saying something that's highly offensive, I'm going to say, stop. Like, especially if they're there supporting me, I'm just not going to sit there and endorse that message. I remember it happened with Liverpool when Patrice Evra came on as a sub against Liverpool when he was a West Ham player, Patrice Evra. And the second Evra came on the pitch, that a lot of the Liverpool crowd started singing the Luis Suarez song. That, for me, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know why they did that. And it was disgusting. So in this same instance, we know why they've started singing the song when Enzo's been introduced to the crowd. But it's those things where I'm not saying he's in control of the crowd in that instance, but I just wonder how that's going to go down in the Chelsea dressing room after he's apologized for it and said that it's not a reflection of me. But since he said that, politicians, top sports people in Argentina have backed him and told everyone to shut up moaning about it. And now more fans are singing it. I mean, it's like they're doubling down as a nation. It kind of puts Enzo between a rock and a hard place, or maybe I'm misreading it.
Well, I just feel like the apology. Yeah,
the player. Like the song is associated with the guy, as in like if anyone sees him, they'll just think of that song, and it does give a bad rep within the entire Chelsea dressing room, because look, at the end of the day, they're not going to be happy with what he's done. And Wesley Fofana has made it clear. Disasi's made it clear. And I'm guessing they've got a big say in the dressing room as much as Enzo does. And it'll be interesting to see how it's going to play out for Chelsea.
He's going to be sold, I think. No matter how good of a performance he has, first game of the season, to try and gain confidence back from the fans, or it doesn't matter how many apologies he makes, it's never going to be right, is it?
But there's a section of Chelsea fans that are that way inclined. I remember when I went to the Champions League final in 2012, like as a neutral fan, and when I won the tickets, I thought it was going to be El Clasico, but obviously it was Chelsea that made it. But I was actually quite worried about going out there because of how Chelsea fans have been put across in the press, and I met some really good Chelsea fans. I got to a point where I ended up defending a lot of Chelsea fans, but there is still there's a portion in every club, but Chelsea are known for having that portion, and they'll be the ones that will be in support of Enzo in this situation here. I'm worried that sort of mentality might spread out a little bit more and put Chelsea in even more of a worse light, and then force their hand to have to do something.
Well, I think it's a great part of the conversation. I think the song is highly offensive and wrong and completely and utterly unprofessional and inappropriate for any professional football player to sing. I'm not going to say I get where people are coming from when they say, because I've had a lot in the comment section of the videos that I've done covering this where they've said it's not offensive, it's just a fact what they're singing. So if we
there's reason behind it.
No, I understand.
I know what you're saying. You're just reading what you're saying. But
What I'm saying is, if we just agree for a moment to not debate or try and convince anybody whether it's right or wrong to sing, let's just kind of put that debate to the side for a moment. A lot of the Chelsea squad didn't like it, and that for me is a separate component of this conversation. Whether we all agree it's wrong or we all agree that it's a fine song to sing is almost irrelevant when it comes to the Chelsea camp, because a huge proportion of their squad is absolutely fuming with Enzo for doing it. He's then kept himself in the public light. The song has then been sung again, and Andre, who translated the other day, and a lot of Chelsea fans didn't like it, has come out and said it's a nothing burger, Terry, the thing about yesterday. And then you've got a few others saying as Chelsea fans are just annoyed that he's kept himself in the public light, and it's kind of reared its head again when what they really want is for it to go away and for things to maybe not be brushed under the carpet, but for the situation in the dressing room to be resolved. And I almost think there's two debates here. There's whether or not you think it's right or wrong to sing, which, listen, I disagree with a lot of people's opinions on it, but we do live in a free society. You can theoretically sing what you want as long as it isn't illegal. But the Chelsea dressing room has made a stance against this, and how is that going to be rectified in everybody's opinion?
That's the thing. It's so awkward already. Like they've already made their stance on social media. I think Disasi's unfollowed him on social media. I think Fofana's done that. Cole Palmer's done that. Like it's just gonna be such an awkward atmosphere within the dressing room, and I honestly don't. I don't know what's going to happen. And I feel as though Chelsea are in a good spot with the fact that Enzo has had his poor performances last season. They have a get out of jail free card where they'll be like, let's just sell him because he's a bad egg within the dressing room. He's not making anyone comfortable at all. We're just going to sell him. And that's what I think Chelsea might do. But there's when I've spoken to Chelsea fans, we spoke to Don last time, they said they want to keep Enzo because of the amount of money that they spend and the amount of potential that they believe that Enzo has. So I personally think they should just let him go. He's still got a little bit of resale value on him. and getting someone that's able to put in similar, if not better, performances than him for Chelsea.
Listen, I hear what you're saying there. Look, a few people have said things I don't quite agree with here. It's like 5 people robbed the bank and 1 got caught, so the other 5 did nothing wrong. Shake my head. But that isn't what we're talking about. Let's just say every single player in that Argentina squad was singing that song. How does that impact the Chelsea dressing room? It's their teammate they're angry with. So it's irrelevant from a Chelsea perspective who else was involved.
But Terry, it's not just Chelsea. It's not just Chelsea. Like, all these players go back to their respective clubs where there are a number of I
agree.
It's just a shame. In a way, it's a shame that it's just that Enzo getting the smoke.
But I agree. But the point I'm making is the conversation isn't right now that we're having isn't about what should UEFA or FIFA or Chelsea do. It's we know there's a problem at Chelsea because the players themselves have made it public. Now, if it turns out there is a problem in the Man United dressing room because Lissandro was on the bus, I don't know who the other players were. There's talk that some people have told me that Alvarez was next to him on the bus. I don't even know, right? It's a very fuzzy video, right? I'm not stating that they won't have problems in their dressing rooms at their clubs, but there's no confirmation there is, so there's no conversation about it, if that makes sense. And it's not about saying Enzo is the only person that's guilty. We're talking about the Chelsea players that have switched on him. We're talking about Chelsea fans that want him sold. So it's not about saying everybody else on the bus did absolutely nothing wrong as a guarantee. We're talking about a situation that's reared its head at your football club. Look, when the
I just find it weird that it's just only him that's getting the smoke. So is he the instigator? Because then if it is the case, then it's a whole different conversation that we need to be having.
But the reason why is because he's the one that live streamed it. He's the one that put it out, right? So that's part of it. But the reason that it's kicked off is because Chelsea Football Club and a lot of its fans and its players have taken exception to it. I think if other players and other people from the other clubs of those fans would have taken exception to it, I think it'd be the same scenario. But that's why Chelsea are the talking point here, because at the end of the day, whether Chelsea fans like it or not, their players or a percentage of their players have taken exception to it. And that's where the conversation, I agree. I mean, FIFA are investigating the whole of the Argentina squad. So it's not just Enzo who's being investigated, but Chelsea can't investigate Lionel Messi. They're investigating Enzo because he's their player.
Yeah, that's true. But what will happen? We've seen it all before. Like, they'll get a fine of like 10 grand or something. So I remember back in the day. Yeah, so I remember when in the same week, this is when Nicholas Bentner, sorry, let me refer to him in his normal name, Lord Bentner, was playing for Arsenal. And in the same week, I can't remember what club it was. It might have been Napoli. Citation on that one. But they got a fine for racial abuse or whatever for 10 grand. And Nicholas Bentner got a fine for something like 80 grand for wearing some Paddy Power boxers.
Yeah.
So it's just a shambles anyway.
Well, this is the one issue. And it's the problem you always have when it comes to these conversations. It becomes tribalistic because people want to defend their own and some people want to get their rivals. But it is a shame that every time it's a conversation about racism, I never feel the punishment fits the crime, as you say, compared to, someone will get a year ban from football for betting on their own team to win, but yet will do something racist, get completely defended by 95% of their squad, receive a fraction of the punishment, and then
whack on a t-shirt.
And the same time, that football club will release a post at some point in the next year, and so do the league that they play in and the association that governs them, saying we have zero tolerance to this stuff. Well, you do have tolerance to it, which is what that's the element for me is everybody has zero tolerance until it impacts them, and then suddenly, it's crazy. Shouldn't Man United fans on the bus that behave then? Shouldn't Man United fans? Well, again, we've already gone through this. Show me the video footage of the song being sung by the Man United players. There is no footage of it. Yes, we're on the bus, but it's let's be fair. And again, it's that's just whataboutery. Show me the evidence, and you'll see me condemn it. I feel that guys, am I getting that wrong here, or am I?
No,
I don't know.
No, you're not getting it wrong.
I need someone to speak up because I feel like I'm changing.
Terry, it's not even that. Like Enzo, people saying why is Enzo the main focus of it? Because he is the centerpiece of it. Like, he was the guy that did all the recording and was live streaming it. It's like how the captain is the centerpiece of every team photo if they win a trophy. It's the same thing with Enzo. Enzo was the guy that was recording it, and Enzo was the one that live streamed it. So
but his comments like
he's
this,
going to get it out.
embarrassing tell there was more than one voice. I've already stated that. When the offensive song was being sung, show me whose voices were singing. Like, show me on the video whose voices, and not the first 34 seconds. It's been confirmed by more than one person on this stream who speaks Spanish that wasn't the same song. So show me who was singing. Again, you're taking it personally. It isn't.
Do you know what the sad thing is? Enzo Fernandez has done it and live streamed it and put it out there. So he obviously is either incredibly thick or he just doesn't think that what he's saying is offensive. Because why, when you're a footballer with all these people watching your every move, do you live stream an offensive song like that? I mean, it baffles my brain. And whether they like it or not, and whether it's fair or not, Chelsea have had a reputation in the past of being a racist club. As Tottenham fans, I'm sure many of us have experienced the chants that get sung at Stamford Bridge, for instance. And so PR like this is absolutely horrendous for a club like Chelsea. But I mean, Christian Romero, I don't know if he was on the bus, but I haven't seen a video of him. Yeah, so how can we condemn him? But I mean, if it was him, yeah, if they were on the bus and they were singing it, they're absolutely disgraceful as well. And if I came on this channel now and started saying really racist things, you'd never have me on again. Rightly so. And my channel would be closed down. But with a footballer, all the tribalistic fans literally stick up for him regardless. It's
different rules when you get that much money involved. They always have different rules.
This is the weirdest comment I've seen, though. It says, "Why is it okay for the fans to sing it?" Then
it isn't.
It isn't.
No one said it is.
It isn't. But a bunch of Argentinians singing it at River Plate, that doesn't impact Fofana. But his teammates singing it does. I mean, why are we not understanding this? It's almost like people are having 3 or 4 different debates about the different sectors of this situation at the same time, and they're not recognizing that this is a problem for Chelsea, not because he's the only one who did it, but the Chelsea fans have made a public exception to this. Acting like we're making it worse by talking about it is crazy to me. Super chat here says Chelsea will handle Enzo, to be honest. There is nothing he can do but hope for his teammates to forgive him. That's a fair point. If I was Chelsea, I would be mad at Enzo for staying in the public eye, even though the apology was weak. The appearance made it completely null and void. Evening, everyone, if we did something like that, Argentina players would want to get the sack and could be taken to court. Do footballers have a different law? Yeah, sometimes they certainly do.